Morocco, come here, over here. Hey, you want a World Cup final? It's brand new. Do it in 2030. Barely driven. All I need from you is one little favor. Will you write me a letter that says you love me? That's all you need. And that sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds completely made up. Except that is what actually happened with the president of FIFA and Morocco. And the Times, they used a word for it that wasn't quite diplomacy, and we'll get to what word they actually used, because that's not the scandal that touched off this whole thing. All right, we've already told you how Gianni Infantino tried to sell 20% of the World Cup to private investors for $20 billion. And one of those private investors, the anchor investor, turned out to be Joshua Kushner's firm. You know, Jared Kushner's brother, aka Trump's son-in-law's brother. And Infantino brought this to FIFA management about a week after the World Cup final. Confetti was still being swept up in New Jersey, and this guy was already trying to sell pieces of the World Cup to Trump's family. UEFA, Europe's organization, voted 55-0 to boycott every FIFA competition, including the World Cup, if this deal went through. Their statement had just a couple of words there: the World Cup is not for sale. And CONCACAF and the Asian Federation, they joined the boycott within days, killing Infantino's voting majority outright. His own senior advisor resigned over it. His own chief operating officer told reporters that he felt deceived. And after that, only after that, is when Infantino pulled the plan. And it didn't matter, because there's a legendary player turned FIFA critic, Luis Figo, calling this the most deceitful, self-interested conduct he has ever seen in the sport. And this is a man who has met, in his words, some rogues in his time. And I've got to ask, should this governing body that just tried to sell off the World Cup be trusted to run the next one? Shouldn't we just blow the whole thing up and start over? Let me know what you think should happen in the comments. Personally, I kind of liked the idea of UEFA and maybe even CONCACAF and the others breaking away and starting their own tournament. But naturally, when you look back at this, when you look at what Gianni Infantino was doing, making this offer to Morocco, many circles, they'd call it a bribe. And that's exactly what the Times called it: bribery. Because when Gianni Infantino flew to Morocco, he put the 2030 World Cup final, the actual biggest game in the biggest tournament in the globe, on the table in exchange for a public letter of support. It smells a little bit more than fishy. And of course, Spain, the co-host of this tournament, wants that final in Madrid. Morocco wants to put it in their new stadium in Casablanca, so Infantino is out there trying to hand out this biggest game on earth like a thank you card for backing him. And he is begging. And with support crumbling, there's reports that he has even called Donald Trump asking him for help. But meanwhile, back home, there is still a mess from the World Cup, because 11 American cities that hosted World Cup matches, Miami, Boston, LA, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, and more, are still waiting on that $1 million that FIFA promised them for hosting. FIFA is sitting on more than $15 billion in revenue, by the way, and can't even be bothered to cut 11 checks. And look, Donald Trump, he could pick up a phone about that tomorrow, calling Gianni Infantino his best bro and asking him to take care of it. Infantino, famously got that red card overturned because Donald Trump called him, but then he said he can't tell him what to do, as if he hadn't just told him what to do. Infantino also is the one that gave Donald Trump that stupid-ass Peace Prize, had him on stage for that closing ceremony. Look, this is not just a friendship. This is a broship. It's a bromance. And 11 American cities right now are waiting on their money, all because Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino are out there just mutually admiring each other. This has gotten so bad, by the way, for FIFA, that Count Benface, and if you're not familiar with him, he's an actual British satirical joke candidate who's campaigning for Parliament by wearing a trash can on his head. This Count Benface is actually being floated in real British sports media as a more credible option than Infantino to continue as FIFA president. And frankly, after looking up this guy, I think I might support this modernized Oscar the Grouch to run FIFA. Because I've read his arguments. They're not bad. I mean, the trash can man has never tried to sell the World Cup to a Kushner. He's never offered to give a host nation a final in exchange for a love letter. And he has, to my knowledge, 0 fake peace prizes that he's handed out to an American president. Now, his actual platform includes renaming things and putting a cap on the price of a croissant, which is still somehow a more coherent governance philosophy than anything that has come out of the real FIFA in the last month or so. And if hearing me yell at institutional corruption in sports or politics, especially a sport that has more money than most countries, if that's the type of content you want more of, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, or hell, become a member, because that is the best way to help us keep putting out content like this.